At the Walmart on L Street. Need some avocados. I need avocados in like 3 days, so I gotta buy them now, because you go in there and it's either bright green rock hard avocados or avocados so purple and soft that they should have been in the compost pile like 3 days ago. So I gotta buy the stones that are green and ripen them myself. Anyway, interesting question in the comments a few days ago about how inflation and the pandemic affected poker, or affected my poker or my winnings. Inflation, I don't think inflation has affected my winnings. Inflation has affected stakes and buy-ins. There are way fewer 1-2 games than there used to be. I know Caesars used to be 1-2, it's 1-3 now. Bally's used to be 1-2, it's 1-3 now. I was still playing in Wisconsin when 1-2 turned to 1-3 overnight. It changes the stakes and it's changed the buy-ins. A lot of 2-5s, almost like all 2-5s used to be 500 max, now they're 1,000 max, or 1,500 or uncapped. MGM is 1-2 uncapped. Sahara is 1-2, I think it's match the stack. Bally's has a $3 big blind game that's $500 max. So buy-ins have increased, and the big blind, 1-3 is kind of like the norm now. It used to be 1-2, so 1-3 is the norm. 1-2 still exists in some places, and yeah, buy-ins have definitely gotten bigger. Like, it used to always be 100 big blinds, and now it's often 200, sometimes 300, sometimes unlimited. As far as the pandemic affecting things, the pandemic made poker better early on. Like, things closed. When things reopened, poker was way more fun and way more profitable, because think about the people who are going to go play poker. Forget the virus reasons, just the poker reasons. There's plexiglass up at the tables, and you need to wear a mask. And whether or not you want to wear a mask, it's difficult to hear bets, it's difficult to hear the dealer announce all-ins, things like that. When there's a mistake, it's difficult to let someone know. The people willing to play despite those rules in place are like the absolute maximum level of degenerate. So those people were going to the casino no matter what, and your like weekend warrior types of people were not as willing to show up and deal with all that. So Maryland Live reopened in July 2020, pretty early. I got down there in September, so I played a mix of Maryland Live and the Horseshoe Baltimore. The Horseshoe Baltimore, to begin with, there are plenty of people who live in the area who won't go to the Horseshoe Baltimore because they don't think they'll make it through the parking garage without getting murdered. So on top of that, add in plexiglass at the tables, and short-handed, or shorter than we were. I think it was usually 9, we were playing 8, it wasn't a big difference, and wearing masks. And there was a stretch where like you couldn't take your mask off for a second. There was a stretch where you couldn't even like drink water. Like, the waitresses were told not to come in because they didn't want your mask off for even 1 second, even to like drink bottles of water. And that got relaxed later on, but like there were a lot of rules in place. So who was willing to go to the Horseshoe Baltimore in autumn 2020? Or a better question, think about, not really a question, think about who was unwilling to go in autumn 2020. Think about all the people who normally never go there, and then think about all the people who were willing to go there under non-coronavirus conditions, and then with no waitress service and masks and plexiglass, all the people who used to go there who weren't. And then think about, well, what types of people are left who was actually there playing poker? Oh, those were amazing games. So right when things started reopening, poker was amazing. Even in Vegas in 2021, you didn't have so many of those like weekend warrior types of people who like work Monday through Friday but then play on the weekends. They weren't showing up a ton, and now no plexiglass. It's been a while. Masks. When was the last time we had to wear a mask? I think it was like February, like the first or second week of February last year. So masks are gone, and yeah, it's pretty much back to normal. So if you remember in my video, what poker rooms in Vegas I choose to play, which is funny, I was in a Smith's parking lot waiting to go in and buy avocados that day. Link at the top if you missed it. I was talking about the poker rooms I like. The characteristics of the room prevent people from showing up who you don't want to play with. And that's what the coronavirus rules did. a lot of people who like come to sit there and just sit in silence and watch the news and read paperback novels, those people weren't showing up in late 2020, in 2021. So that's how inflation and the pandemic affected poker, according to me. Thanks for the question, viewer and commenter, and that's it for today. And remember, rice is a spoon food.